Welcome to this week's episode of The Gun Doctor. William McGurn looks nothing like what you would expect a gun owner to look like, and he'd probably be the first to admit it. William McGurn is a member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board, and previously he served as speechwriter for President George W. Bush. So at age 61, he's not the type of person you would expect to suddenly become a gun owner. But that's exactly what happened and prompted him to write an article called Confessions of a New Gun Owner. McGurn explains that when he was growing up, his father was an FBI agent, but guns were not a fascination for his father or for him. This may help explain why they all grew up supporting the Second Amendment in principle while not much interested in the practice. What changed? Certainly the rioters played a key part, but far more shocking than the rioters themselves has been the associated spectacle of police and political authorities across America standing down in the face of night after night criminal behavior directed at the lives and livelihoods of innocent, law-abiding citizens. He goes on to write that even in suburbia, many people are no longer confident our authorities would or could keep us safe. In a small suburb such as mine, what would happen if even 100 or 200 people bent on violence were to arrive at once? Could our small police force really handle it? Or would we be left to fend for ourselves like Mark and Pat McCloskey in St. Louis, which is a reference to the couple where rioters broke down the gate to a private drive and threatened them as they stood on their lawn with their weapons to protect their home. 5 million first-time gun buyers feel as McGurn does. This is not a slap in the face of police, who are many times outnumbered by protesters and rioters, but more directed at those in authority like mayors, city council members, and even some governors who have allowed the chaos to continue unchecked. Many of those same officials tell their police chiefs to stand down, which is the same thing as saying, "Don't do your job." The choice the chief has is either to obey the order or resign, which is why we are seeing numerous resignations by police chiefs around the country. But the silent majority is becoming more vocal, not only by first-time gun owners exercising their Second Amendment rights, but by supporting their local law enforcement. Recently, some Antifa members decided to make their way into a Seattle suburb. A group of about 200 protesters went to a quiet neighborhood that belonged to Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best. Sheriff Adam Fortney was notified around 8:30 p.m., and by the time deputies arrived, most of the protesters were already dispersing or already gone, because they were met by local residents who were armed and turned them away. "When the people showed up at my house, it certainly felt very personal about me," said the chief. "It really does seem like a mob mentality and bullying to intimidate a public official." Some neighbors that lived on the quiet street said that 30 to 40 vehicles were wrapped around the corner. Neighbors buckled down and used their own vehicles to block the protesters from moving further down the street where the chief's home is located. One neighbor said it was not peaceful. They were here to intimidate, scare people, scare children. There were children out there, and they were asking them what schools they went to. They were yelling the most horrible things you've ever heard in your entire life. Americans are appalled at what's happening in our major cities across the country and are making a statement that this kind of chaos and violence will not be tolerated in rural America. 5 million new gun owners should give pause to those who want to commit their violent acts upon innocent people. Well, you can be one of those new gun owners by stopping in at Smokin Gun Worx, where you can buy your new firearm, get your conceal and carry permit, and train on their 5-star nationally rated range. Smokin Gun Worx for all your home defense needs, and you old gun owners, you're welcome too. We'll be back next week. Until then, for the Gun Doctor, I'm Tim Bivens.